Call this meeting to order. Thank you. Welcome. I call this meeting to order. Please stand and cite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 1.03, adoption of the agenda. It is recommended that the agenda for the January 14, 2026 special meetings of the Board of School Trustees be adopted as presented.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Item 2.01, oath of office for the Board of School Trustees. Mrs. Dutoy.
Thank you, Mrs. Lehman. I'd like to invite Mr. Weber to the front. I state your name.
I, David M. Weber,
Solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana, and the laws of the United States and the State of Indiana.
the Constitution of the State of Indiana, and the laws of the United States and the State of Indiana.
I shall serve as an advocate on behalf of our students and our schools,
I shall serve as an advocate on behalf of our students and our schools,
to work together with the superintendent to lead the district in fostering excellence in education for our community.
to work together with the superintendent and to lead the district in fostering excellence in education for our community.
I hereby swear that I possess the qualifications as required by the laws of Indiana
I hereby swear that I possess the qualifications as required by the laws of Indiana
to serve as a member of the School City of Mishawaka Board of School Trustees.
to serve as a member of the School City of Mishawaka Board of School Trustees.
I will abide by the board member ethics and will faithfully execute all the duties of my office as a member of this governing body, so help me God.
I will abide by the board member ethics, and I will faithfully execute all duties of my office as a member of this governing body, so help me God.
Congratulations, you're not in for another 4 years.
Item 3, reorganization of the Board of School Trustees. 3.01, election of board president. And I have the floor open for nomination.
I would like to nominate Angela Lehman for board president.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Sorry.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion passes. 3.02, election of board president.
Vice president.
Vice President, excuse me.
I'd like to nominate Melissa Johnson for vice president.
Okay, I will motion. I'm sorry. It is recommended the Board of School Trustees approve Melissa Johnson as Vice President in 2026. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve?
A second? Those all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion passes. 3.03, election of board secretary. The floor is open for nomination. I would like to nominate Dave Weber as school board secretary.
I second that nomination, so you would motion and I'd be the second. That's how it should have done. Because you opened it up.
Oh, I did.
So you're
Okay.
one, I'm two.
Okay. So it is recommended that the school board trustees approve Dave Weber to serve as secretary in 2026. Melissa, motion?
Yes. Second.
Am I doing all this right? I'm getting confused.
Yes, I think you're in fine shape.
Okay, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Thank you. 3.04, announcement of 2026 board committee assignments. And you don't have those up on the board, but there will be no change for the committee assignments for this year. Item 4, reorganization of the Board of Finance. 4.01, election of the President of the Board of Finance. The floor is open for nomination, and I would like to nominate Dave Weber as President of the Board of Finance. It is recommended the Board of School Trustees approve Dave Weber to serve as the President of the Board of Finance for 2026.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion passes. 4.02, election of Secretary of the Board of Finance. The floor is now open for a nomination.
I would like to nominate Angela Lehman for the Board of Finance.
It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve Angela Lehman to serve as the Secretary of the Board of Finance for 2026. Is there a motion?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion passes. Item 5, Board of Finance Business. 5.01, SCM Financial Conditions Report. Mrs. Dutoy and Dr. Stevens.
Thank you. I believe it's now President Lehman. I appreciate you sort of opening up the financial conditions report. Oh, yes, yeah. Round of applause. This is usually part of the meeting that everybody's been waiting for since last year. You probably marked it on your calendar where we get to talk about the financial indicators that are presented from the state of Indiana and are required of the superintendent to review with you at this special meeting. So first and foremost, if you're ever interested in looking at these financial indicators, you can go online to essentially www.in.gov/DUAB, and then which is the Distressed Unit Appeals Board. And then you can go through and look up each school corporation in the state of Indiana. You click under, it's M for Mishawaka School City. Why it's not under S is a whole nother story. But it'll show you the following slides that I'm going to talk to you about here tonight. So the first slide is really just sort of shows how many students we had last year. All the information presented here is lagging information. So they had us at 4,941 students. They had our assessed value for our 8 square miles, and they had the estimated population of Mishawaka a little over 30,000 last year. If you flip over to sort of page 2 of that slide, it talks about has our fall and spring daily membership, and you can sort of see how Mishawaka has stacked up from 2015 to current, which is generally steady. There might be a slight bit of decline. And you'll notice starting in 24 and 25, there's sort of a little orange topper and a yellow topper. Those are the amount of virtual students that we have. So that's a sort of a special shout out to Mr. Turton, the principal of the Cave, and those are the number of virtual students that we have in those programs. Moving over to slide number 3, this shows all the different fund balances. This is where I lean heavily on someone's expertise like Mrs. Dutoy to help explain these things. But I would certainly point out the orange is the education fund. And as you can see, in 24, we received less revenue than we did in the previous years. And again, that probably a large part was due in the amount of students that we had. We have less students, you receive less money, and we had more Cave students, but of course you get 85% of the dollars for a virtual student versus the full funding amount. But generally, as you look at those different fund balances, I believe that it shows healthy fund balances and a healthy financial condition of the school city of Mishawaka in a general sense for tonight's proceedings. You then can flip on over to the next page, which is going to show you revenues and expenditures. And of course, in a perfect world, you love to have your revenue exceed your expenditures, and there are many years where we have done that, but then there are times where our expenditures are greater than the revenue, and then that's where we have to sort of right-size the school corporation at times to get where we need to be, or get more students to get more revenue in the door on that route. So as you can see, last year, we probably obviously expended more than we had at that point in time. Flip over to the following page, or screen, I guess, in the case of Mr. Modlin, this is going to show our fund balance as a percent of our general expenditures. And again, I don't know what the perfect percentage of that would be, but again, we've dropped just a little bit to the 29.2. We topped out in 2022. My guess is there's probably some COVID dollars yet to be spent at that time, that the expenditure was a higher percentage at that time versus today. You can then flip, getting close to the end of everybody's exciting report here, so no worries to the viewers at home. Then you have our revenue by type. This graph basically just shows each year sort of where monies come from for School City of Mishawaka, whether that be federal stimulus, federal revenue, state revenue, and of course you'll notice the vast majority in blue comes from state revenue. ADM dollars directly related to the number of students that we have within School City of Mishawaka. And then I believe, final page shows our operating referendum revenue. And again, generally, those dollar amounts have increased, which is certainly beneficial to the school corporation. But I would remind folks, as sort of we wrap this presentation up, that with Senate Enrolled Act 1 due to really be implemented here in the coming year, that we expect those revenues, even in the operating referendum that of course we had approved by the voters, that this number will continue to decline, unfortunately. So, which puts School City in a little bit of a financial challenge to figure out how to provide the same services that we told the public we would provide beforehand. So with that, I believe that technically fulfills the statutory requirement of the superintendent to review the fiscal indicators. Are there questions that the board may have at this time pertaining to that report? If not, President Lehman, I turn it back over to you because there is no action on that item.
Okay, great. Item 6, reorganization business. 6.01, appointment of SCM treasurer and deputy treasurers for 2026. Dr. Stevens.
Thank you. It is recommended the Board of School Trustees approve Rachel Dutoy as School City Mishawaka treasurer and Mrs. Tracy Bolin and Mrs. Stephanie Bell as deputy treasurers for the 2026 calendar year.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion carries. 6.02, establishment of bonds for the SCM treasurer and deputy treasurers. Dr. Stevens.
Thank you. It is recommended the Board of School Trustees approve that bonds be established at $50,000 each for the School City of Mishawaka treasurer and deputy treasurers for the 2026 calendar year.
So moved.
Second.
Second? Okay, I have a motion and second. Everyone in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Okay, motion passes. 6.03, appointment of treasurer and deputy treasurers for SCM, JYMS, and MHS extracurricular activities accounts. Dr. Stevens.
Thank you. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees appoint Rachel Dutoy as treasurer, Kathy Smith for John Young Middle School and the elementary schools, and Joanne Sargent and Chad Brew from Mishawaka High School as deputy treasurers of the School City Mishawaka extracurricular activity funds for the 2026 calendar year.
So moved.
Make a motion. So moved. Second.
Need a second? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. 604, establishment of bonds for the SCM extracurricular activities, treasurer and deputy treasurers. Dr. Stevens.
It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the bonds be established for the School City Mishawaka treasurer and deputy treasurers of the extracurricular activities funds in the amount of $10,000 each for the 2026 calendar year.
Make a
So
motion.
moved.
Make a motion.
Can I have a
to approve.
second?
Second.
All of those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion passes. 6.05, authorization of employees to open sealed bids. Dr. Stevens.
Thank you. It is recommended the Board of School Trustees approve the following personnel acting in any panel of 3 to be authorized to open sealed bids in response to all advertised bids. Those individuals include Theodore Stevens, Rachel Dutoy, Tracy Bolin, Stephanie Bell, Ken Callenbeck, Justin Smith, Rachel Oppenheim, and Matt Modlin.
Make a motion, we approve the authorization of employees?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Great, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, I now call this meeting of the special meetings of the school board trustees closed, adjourned. Thank you. Okay. Now, do I just go to the regular meeting?
Yep.
Right?
Say just go to
Okay.
2.02.
Okay.
Ready to go.
All right, so on to 2.02 of the regular meeting, adoption of the agenda. It is recommended the agenda for the January 14, 2026 regular meeting of the school board, the Board of School Trustees be adopted as presented.
Second?
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. There's nothing for 3. Item 3, recognition. Item 4, comments and questions from the floor. 4.01, representatives of the Mishawaka Parent Group. I don't believe there's anyone here. 4.02, representatives of school employees. No one here. 4.03, representative of the Mishawaka Education Foundation, Dr. Stevens.
Thank you. Jane Wright could not be here tonight, but she may be watching on YouTube, so I promised her that I'd be on my best behavior. So a little bit of MEF news, just so folks know, and I do not claim to be as vivacious as Jane is when she comes to the podium. But the first thing is she wanted everybody to know that the Mishawaka Education Foundation Board voted recently to provide emergency funds to social workers so that they could provide students and families in need different things that they may need that they deem appropriate in an emergency. So the board was happy to do that, and I think the social workers are happy to have access to some emergency funds as those situations warrant. And secondly, she also wanted to point out that the MEF's partnership with the Mishawaka Business Association continues to move forward. We happen to have the representative from the Business Association in the back, Ms. Stacy Vervinkt is here. But that partnership is all about providing internships and workplace experiences for students at Mishawaka High School. I know Mr. Brew, Dr. Mann have all been part of that as well. And the Education Foundation is proud to be sort of a partner and a conduit to help bring those entities together for the betterment of our students. So that concludes my report from the Mishawaka Education Foundation.
Great. Moving on, 4.04, general public, and I believe we don't have anyone signed up. Item 5, the consent agenda. 5.01, approval of the minutes of the December 3rd, 2025 meeting. 5.02, approval of bills and warrants and payroll. 5.03, approval of the November bank statement reconciliation report. 5.04, major account monthly financial report for October 2025. 5.05, major account monthly financial report and historical comparison for November 2025. 5.06, declaration of obsolete property. 5.07, approval of donations. 5.08, approval of agreement with Soliant Health LLC. 5.09, approval of the consent agenda. It is recommended that the Board of School Trustees approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. Item 6, reports and discussions. Items 6.01, parent survey results. Mrs. Smith.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know if some of you recall in 2015 and 2016, we did some parent surveys to our elementary families just to kind of get a gauge on how they feel about School City of Mishawaka. That was kind of building up to the 2016 referendum. And so it's been a while since we have reached out to our families. And so we thought maybe this would be a good time to just kind of get a feel for, what their perception of School City is. So in October, we did a digital survey for all of our families. And this time we also reached out to John Young, the high school, and the Cave as well. So this was the first time everyone had been reached out to. And so these are the results that we got. And we didn't get a big response back, only 9.1% of families did respond, but it is better than nothing, we'll say that. But overall, obviously the elementary families really did a great job of responding, and families were able to do everything on just one survey. They didn't have to fill out like 3 different ones if they have kids at different levels and everything, so we tried to make it easy. So, and you guys have in your survey, in your packets, it's a little bit longer survey with some details that break down every individual school, kind of what their responses were and stuff. But just to be respectful of people's time tonight, we'll just keep this to kind of the general responses. So the first question was your perception of your child's school? So 33% of the respondents felt excellent, 48.1 good, 15% fair, and 3.8% poor. So that was a pretty good return. I mean, everything's excellent or good on that for the most part. What is your perception of your child's school? And this is broken down so you could kind of see elementary, middle, high school, and the Cave, kind of how people were looking at it that way. So definitely a lot of great responses there. Nothing really stood out too much, but I feel my child's school provides a challenging curriculum. And this one, it's kind of interesting how, I mean, for the most part, it's agree and strongly agree is how the response come. It's interesting as you look across the board how it starts to shift a little at the middle school and then it kind of goes back at the high school. So I just find it interesting we go from level to level, how the parents' responses kind of change a bit. And I don't know if it's just the kids are getting older, they're trying to let them, you know, not be as involved or what, but. So I feel my child's engaged at school. 31.4% strongly agree, 42.8% agree, 16.4 were neutral on that, 6.2 disagreed, and 3.2 strongly disagreed. So again, a really good response on the agree and strongly agree. What overall grade would you give to your child's school? 36.2% would give an A to their child's school, 40.9 a B, 16.8 a C, 4.3 a D, and only 1.7 an F on that. So, and I will say on the elementaries, there was only one elementary school that received an F, and so it's kind of stood out. When I looked at how that particular parent responded, there wasn't anything at all that was like poor or anything. So I don't know if they actually accidentally gave an F or if they just don't like that school. It wasn't your school, so you're all right. So, yeah, actually that principal's not here, so I guess we could call him. I did, it's not your school either. You're good. So you guys can figure out who it is. No, but that was just kind of a little bit of an outlier that I wondered if that actually was what they meant to respond, so. Then they got to select the response that best describes your perception about safety at your child's school. So 32.1% feel that it's very safe, 43.5% safe, 13.8 were neutral or undecided, 8.1% were feels questionable, and 2.4 unsafe. Do you believe your child feels safe at school? So 32.2% strongly agree, 50.6 agree, 10.2 were neutral, 5.6 disagree, and 1.5 strongly disagree on that. So that's good, though, that overall they feel like their child feels safe. That's a really great thing. Do you feel that your child's school building and classroom technology are up to date? And I do believe we left this question off of the Cave. And I believe about like your school being safe, we didn't ask the Cave kids because it's their home. So, it's kind of an awkward question. So those were not included in these. But overall, 16.6% strongly agree, 48.5 agree, 19.8 were neutral or undecided, 7% disagree, and 3.8 strongly disagree. So, and I can see why that neutral is a little bit bigger there because some parents just may not know. They're not in a classroom to look and see what's there. So, yes.
That's a question on the last survey, which was 5 years ago, I believe you said.
10 years ago.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's way before resource officers.
Yes.
And then it
Yes.
looks like all the numbers are positively
Yes.
going up, and
Yeah, and when those questions were asked the first time, that was before we had the vestibules and everything, and so it was gauging how the community felt, because we were getting ready to ask for some money to be able to give that back. So if they didn't feel safe, then it helped us,
Sure, okay.
well, this is what we could do with your assistance. So that was where some of these came from, but they still kind of apply now, the questions and stuff, or at least, hopefully get good responses,
Okay.
so. What is your overall impression of the teaching instruction at your child's school? 36.8% felt excellent, 45.3% good, 15% fair, and 2.9% poor. What's your perception of the communication at your child's school? 35.5% excellent, 37.5% good, 18.3% fair, and 8.7% poor. And I gotta say, this is just such kind of a weird one, because everyone also had an opportunity to list like their greatest strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities. And, so I was able to pull some themes and stuff out of that. So greatest strength came up a lot, communication, greatest weakness, communication, greatest opportunity, communication. So it just, I guess it's, how people, but some of it came down to some people felt they got things that didn't pertain to their family, or I would rather have paper, I don't want it digital, some of those kinds of things too. So it's not just, I'm not getting it, sometimes it's the form, sometimes it's too much, those kinds of things. So it's kind of an overall theme. So, and then we had some questions that were just overall for school city. So that's where we're at now. So do you approve or disapprove of the job School City Mishawaka is doing? So 23.4% strongly agree, 48.3, strongly approve, 48.3 approve, 22.7 somewhat approve, and then 3.3 were somewhat disapprove, 0.7 at disapprove, and then 1.5 at strongly disapprove. So that's really good, though, that everything is either somewhat approve or higher. I mean, for the most part, it's just that small little bit. So it means there's room for growth, but and stuff, but pretty good overall. What is your overall perception of School City Mishawaka? 23.4% feel it's excellent, 48.3 good, 22.7 fair, and 3.3 poor. So. How do you prefer communication from teacher, school, and School City of Mishawaka? So you can see the top two were text and email. And, which was really interesting. I pulled the info from 2015 and 2016. And the number one thing people wanted then was a phone call, and the last thing was text. So it's really interesting in 10 years how it's flipped. But so, which I get it. It is easier just to not be bothered and just read your text at your own time. So 1.6% did say any form. Apparently they just want any and all communications. So at least there's something there.
Which is good.
This is a really important question, I think. Would you refer School City Mishawaka to a friend or family member? So 91.1% said yes, they would. That's a pretty good number. That 8.9% that said no, if you look back at the few people that had poor and things like that, it would probably be about that percentage. And sometimes someone just is having a bad experience, or, just it tends to be like one thing. Because when you go through their responses, you get a lot of themes with the yeses and this is why. And when it's the no's, it's a lot more targeted things that, so it's like something, like one thing kind of thing that has someone upset. So, but we did ask why. So I did kind of try to break it down for you, make it a little easier to understand instead of having to read a bunch of stuff. So overall, good schools, amazing staff. That came up a lot about teachers, principals. Mr. O'Hara has a big fan that kept saying, I love Mr. O'Hara. So Mr. Wood, who's not here, also has someone that's in love with him too. So there's a couple people. No, I believe Mrs. Kozik was listed with some of her people. So so it came over really good too. It's not just teachers, but it's overall everyone. Quality education. Great experience. And I think this is a good one because several times people said, my child comes home happy. That's a good thing, just hearing they're happy. And so it kind of is their overall great experience. And family tradition, that came up a lot. We have a lot of alumni that, there's probably some in this room, that went through the system, possibly their parents, there's several generations their kids have, and they said, of course, I would send my kids here, I did, kind of thing. So that's something that not everywhere has, that family tradition that, that people have here. So that's pretty important to have. A parent at John Young and Hums, this was one of the responses and why. Mishawaka is home. The schools feel like home to my kids. They belong. They are respected, held to high expectations, and are given opportunities to learn, grow, and socialize with peers. So I thought that was really a good summary of why they would send their kids here. And of course, you have some why not themes. Needs work, and that's exactly, so a couple people just said needs work. Not much clearer than that, but that's what they were doing. A few people felt their child was not challenged. And the last one, probably no surprise, but lack of buses. So, transportation can be a hindrance, but that's not an easy fix either. We can just buy a bus and call it a day. So, but those were kind of the big three on the people that said why they would not. And then people were also allowed to add some comments and concerns. So there was two of them that really stood out that I did want to share. This one's from a Liberty parent, so I'm glad you're here. We are very happy with our school and the school district. We were very unhappy with the previous school we dealt with and how our children and their safety were treated. At Mishawaka, we feel that each student is valued and taken seriously as well as genuinely cared about. Their academics are prioritized, and the sense of community that schools build is something that makes us even more grateful that we are at the school we're at. So good job, Liberty. So reading that, I'm assuming that's an out-of-district family, so that's a good thing too. I mean, I could be wrong, but kind of leans that way. And then one more for you. Oops. So this is a Mishawaka High School parent. We moved to Mishawaka when my son was 4 to give him a better life than I had. He is currently a senior and is thriving. I'm so thankful for the ways School State Mishawaka has contributed to our beautiful lives. Thank you so much. So I think those were a couple of really great things to have. So, and that is an actual quote from a parent. That is exactly how they put it. So that was just kind of a little bit of a summary of what we had. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But overall, that's kind of sums it up right there, I guess. So. Yeah. Oh, were we thinking about taking votes? It was Melissa that wrote that. But.
That's funny.
Yeah.
No, I
So.
wish I would've.
Yeah. So thank
Great.
you.
You guys have any questions? Thanks, Jen.
Very nice job.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, we're on to item 7, Human Resources, 7.01, Personnel Report. Mr. Laban.
Thank you, President Lehman. This evening, we're recommending the appointment of 2 certified and 6 classified positions. We also have 11 ECA or extra duty assignments and 4 volunteer positions for your review. As always, happy to answer any questions, but if not, it's recommended the personnel report dated January 14th, 26 is approved as presented.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Thank you. 7.02, Approval of Employment with Individual Employees. Mr. Laban.
Thank you. Pursuant to Indiana Code, it's recommended that the board approve the volunteer assignment with the individuals listed in the administrative content.
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been motioned and second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those who oppose, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. 7.03, Approval of the 2027-2028 School Calendar. Mr. Laban.
Thank you again, President Lehman. This evening, the administration is seeking the board's approval for the 2027-2028 school calendar. As most are probably familiar, we are in a cycle now where we are publishing 2 years worth of calendars out feature dated. We do that strategically. We understand families are trying to plan accordingly. Our staff is trying to plan accordingly. So we bring this to you for review this evening. Looking at some of those finer details, this calendar proposes that the first day for school for all K-12 students would be August 18th, 2027. That's a week later than what we have been historically starting for the school year. And then it has our last day for K-12 students as June 1st. So again, we're going to start a little bit later. We have to go a little bit later as the result of that as well. And that cycle tends to happen every couple of years, obviously, where based on the start of the day in the calendar, we have to push back. So we're kind of at that point where we probably could have done it next year. We pushed it off for one more, but with this calendar, we do need to make that transition. In this calendar, we've eliminated the planned e-learning day on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and we've replaced that with a traditional recess or no school day. And doing so and acknowledging that both of the election days in this calendar remain in-session, in-person days for our students. This will retain all 3 of those asynchronous e-learning days that the DOE permits school corporations to utilize annually, so we can use those for inclement weather purposes if and as necessary. This calendar also reflects 178 instructional days. If you will recall, that will be under the premise that we retain the waiver that we currently have. We have to reapply for that, but that application does not open until next school year. So when we apply for that, assuming we get that, which is what we would expect, if for whatever reason that weren't to be the case, we would have to come back and bring you a modified calendar that would add 2 more days to the calendar, but I don't necessarily foresee that being necessary at this point in time. As always, happy to answer any questions that the board have, but if not, it's recommended that the board approve the 2027-2028 calendar as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Great, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 8, Curriculum Instruction and Technology, 8.01, Indiana Graduates Prepare to Succeed, or GPS Update. Dr. Stockstill.
Good evening, thank you. The current accountability system for Indiana is Graduates Prepare to Succeed, also known as GPS. This dashboard shows a number of key indicators for schools across the state of Indiana. The following is the dashboard that you will see if you log into the state of Indiana. Anyone is able to, at this time, to go in, log in, and you can see the real-time data for districts and schools across the state. This is the dashboard for Indiana that has benchmarked headline indicators. What that means is these indicators are considered the most important according to Indiana, and they have set goals for a certain time period. So for example, if you look at 3rd grade literacy, the goal is to have 95% of students pass I Read, show proficiency by 2027. Currently, the state of Indiana is at 87.4% in 2025. So for each of the key indicators, you're able to see where Indiana is according to that target. I will note there is some lagging data from the state of Indiana, specifically the grad rate, our graduation pathway completion is what they call it on the dashboard, and college and career credentials are all the way from 2021. They've not been updated yet. This is our School City of Mishawaka dashboard, so it's our whole district looking at the same benchmark indicators. So we just saw what the state was, now we're looking to look specifically at School City Mishawaka. For 3rd grade literacy, what you'll see, we'll start there, is a barometer that will show you the proficiency level. In the color is School City of Mishawaka compared to the one next to it, which is the state of Indiana. School City of Mishawaka was at 88.4% proficient compared to the state at 87.4% proficient. And the green indicator next to it means there was an increase of 9.7 percentage points. So you'll see that across the board for each of the 4 indicators that are within the locus of control for School City of Mishawaka. We are still waiting for kindergarten readiness and the pre-K to 2 literacy to be released to be determined by Indiana and be released and on our dashboard. I will also note our 6th grade math growth continues to be strong with a 1 percentage point increase, and we are creeping towards that goal of 45% by 2030 and to that state average as well. I want to briefly do 2 highlights, and then I'll provide a high-level overview. Like I said before, if you want, you can go online and see all of the dashboards as well. So the first highlight shows our elementary I Read over time, and what you'll see all the way dating back from 2018, School City Mishawaka is in blue compared to the state of Indiana, and it tracks our performance. You'll see from 2018 up until now, 2025, where we exceeded the state average with our 9.1 percentage increase point. I would like to give a special kudos to our students, our schools, and families for their hard work. This is a great, remarkable achievement for us for the first time in 10 years to be over the state average for our reading proficiency. Another highlight, well noting, this is from 2024, is this shows our graduation rates. And what you'll see here, same color scheme, School City Mishawaka is in blue, the state is in Indiana is in that gray-black color. We saw a 5.7% increase in the number of students grade 12, meeting graduation requirements, simply stated, grad rate. And if you ask Mr. Brew and Dr. Mann, they saw another increase next year that will be reflected very soon on the dashboard as well. Like third grade literacy, we are exceeding the state average in our graduation rate for our seniors. Opportunities for growth. We also use a GPS to look where can we improve. We saw a growth and improvement in our attendance, but we're still below 15% below the state average. So we want to still continue to work with families to ensure our students are at school ready to learn. Our middle grade literacy proficiency, mirroring what was seen in the state performance, we have a decline in our middle grade proficiency for English language arts. So we are working strategically at those middle levels to increase that literacy, to ensure that it begins strong at the lower primary grades and moves all the way through high school and graduation. SAT proficiency, we need to work on increasing the number of 11th grade students that are passing both mathematics and reading. SAT used to just be a college entrance exam. That's our accountability measure. So we want to continue to work on students that are able to pass both of those assessments. Moving forward, we analyze this data with our schools, with you all, and we share and celebrate our bright spots, as well as we select practices that we're able to scale. So we look at schools that had pockets of success, and we see what can we scale to other classrooms, other buildings. We also identify areas of need, and we make sure we have improvement plans at our school in place so that we can continue to see growth, and then we track that progress on an internal dashboard so we're not surprised when the data comes out. That's all I have for tonight, but I'd be happy to answer any questions or elaborate further.
Anybody have any questions? No. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
Uh, 8.02, generative AI in SEM. Mr. Modlin.
Thank you, President Lehman and members of the board, for the opportunity tonight to talk about generative AI and how it is used in the classrooms of School City Mishawaka. I have a few people here to help me a little later in the presentation, so I'm happy to have them talk about how they use AI in their classrooms. But first, to start, I'd like to talk a little bit about what is generative AI. Generative AI is a software program that learns language or visual structure to generate new work. As you'll see on the screen here, there are a variety of little icons there. Those are sketches of calculators that were submitted to a game called Google Quick Draw. So the prompt is draw a calculator, and we'll see how long AI takes to guess what it is. And so it uses all of that calculator, all those little sketches that people submit to train the AI so it can learn how to better analyze and see and recognize what a calculator is. So over time, you're going to build this idea of what a calculator is in that software, and it can try to guess, and it gets faster and faster. So I highly recommend go play that game and kind of see it in action. But some of that can be tricked a little bit, right? So if I start drawing basketballs when it's asking me to draw a calculator, it can actually impact what the AI recognizes as a calculator. So the information that goes into that artificial intelligence software can actually be impacted on what it puts out. So keep that in mind as we go through our presentation. Over the years here, we have had a lot of different technology innovations. If we go back far enough, you go back to the calculator, there was a lot of concern, like how are kids going to use this in the classroom? How are we going to know that they're going to learn math? And we think about the things that we put in place. We have different assignments that we say, you can't use a calculator on this, but you can use it on this part. And so giving those guidelines. And that's where we were really focusing over the years for calculators, computers, mobile computers, and now AI. So over the past year, we've looked at how do we give some guidance for the district and for teachers to use artificial intelligence in the classroom. We've spent some time looking at our responsible use policy with principals, the partners in tech, and a variety of other people to kind of give some input on what that might look like. So we also are looking at a shift from acceptable to responsible. And what that means is we're not going to tell people what not to do with technology. We're going to work on what to do with technology. And so as a former lifeguard instructor, we tell our lifeguards, don't say, don't run. You give the direction on what to do. So when you're running on the pool deck, you hear walk, not don't run. And so we're really trying to apply that as this policy as well. So you'll note there that we are going to use AI tools responsibly and will not use AI in a way that could harm myself or others. I will follow my teachers' expectations when using technology, curriculum platforms, and/or AI tools. I will be honest when using technology, curriculum, resources, and/or AI tools to assist with my learning, and I will always critically evaluate the information it provides. And that last part, if we go back to that Google Quick Draw, where the basketball can be input, and you're critically evaluating what output is giving you, we know what a calculator looks like. So if it says, this is a calculator and they're holding a basketball, it's that human component of evaluating what's being given out. And so that is really key for what we're doing with our technology and AI in School City Mishawaka. So we also look at what platforms do we allow people to use. And we want to make sure that student data privacy is very high on that list. We don't want our students' data to be used to train that information and train that software to recognize some different things. So we want to make sure that that's in our agreement that is not used to train that model. We want to make sure that existing ed tech products kind of work with that AI. And we also really want to know when AI is being used in a product. So we're aware of when AI is applied. Up the upper right corner there, you'll notice that we have Gemini and Notebook LM. Those all fall under our Google agreement. We are a Google district, all of our Chromebooks. There's also some free products there, School AI, Magic School, and Brisk Teaching. Those are some generative AI tools that we can use. And then down below there, we have IXL and Amira, where we actually have some of the AI embedded into our curricular materials. So to talk a little bit more, we have the partners in tech from a variety of schools. I have Mrs. Modlin from the elementary, representing elementary, and a STEM teacher, Mr. Wicker from John Young, and Mrs. Gerber from the high school. So I'll turn it over to them and have them speak about how they're using it in the classroom.
So in each of our elementary schools, our 6th grade STEM class has a whole semester of computer science. And within that computer science unit, our students learn about machine learning, which is, how a computer simulates human intelligence. We play a 20-question game on the computer where the computer has to guess what we're thinking. It's the traditional 20-question game. Only a computer is guessing based on the answers that we provide it. We also use Google Quick Draw that Matt showed us to see how the machine learning takes our data that we provide it and uses it to give us feedback. We also explore chatbots a little bit, which we really talk about how a chatbot is not the same as talking with a human. That's pretty important for especially kids in 6th grade who may be kind of experimenting with that on their own. In class, we use School AI, which gives us, it's a monitored chatbot. So when I set up a chatbot, I can see what the students are asking the computer and then what the computer is responding. So that's really important to be able to monitor what the kids are talking about. And we use that chatbot really just to kind of explore how a computer's answers are different than how a person might answer it. We also talk about how to use AI responsibly, which is an important digital citizenship lesson. I have a lot of resources from PBS News, Common Sense Media, Code.org. All 3 of those resources have a lot of great videos that kids seem to respond to pretty well about learning how to use AI responsibly.
Hi, everybody. Shout out to the board real quick. Last time I was here, I talked to you about Leader in Me, and I actually assigned all of you homework, and I never got a chance to give you a grade, A+. Everybody did it. Dr. Stevens, I'm going to throw it out there that you turned it in first, night of.
Oh, goodness.
Not to be an overachiever. So what we're doing with AI in the middle school is really trying to honor and respect what is happening at the elementary level and continue to bolster those skills. It's not useful at all for a kid to be able to tell a machine to do work for them. It is incredibly useful for a child to know how a machine learns, how it works, and how they can use that tool to further their own learning. So what we're focusing on with the students is how do they have a working relationship with AI where they understand that that's a tool, not a stand-in for a friend. We have a couple different ways we're doing this. I've been working with the English teachers and the social studies teachers at the school, and because I'm insane, I have my own chatbot that we've been playing with. It's called Little Wick. It's available to all the kids at all times in those classes. Things that they've been using it for, especially today in History Day, in social studies, they've been working on History Day, so it's been incredibly useful for that. the average age of the audience here is old enough to probably get this reference. I got an alert and thought that a student was looking up something they shouldn't have been, and it turns out they were just looking for information about the disappearance of the Lindbergh baby. Maybe a couple of the words they used could have been a little more choice, but we got what we were looking for. We see the same thing in English classes. One of the things that I've heard from a lot of teachers, I'm sure you hear this at the elementary and high school level, I have 150 students I'm responsible for. Even if I'm only spending 2 minutes looking at their assignments, which is not enough to give them proper feedback, it can take hours to get them their work back so that they have some kind of understanding of what needs to be fixed, needs to be corrected. The ability for a student to work with an AI model directly on their computer next to them that can be monitored by an English teacher and give direct, instantaneous feedback in the exact moment of writing has been insanely useful. So that's the model that I'm working with the English teachers on towards now, so we can get to that so that their review time can be better spent. And we're also working on it in different classes like social studies as well. It's been super, super useful for time periods in history that aren't well represented by primary and secondary sources. It's given a voice to history. One of the things that we're able to use is Notebook LM as a Google school, and Notebook LM is kind of like a chat language model where you can put all of the information it pulls in directly into it yourself, so there's no worry about those hallucinations that Mr. Maudlin's talking about, which as a social studies teacher is one of my biggest worries when it comes to AI. I one time was talking about colonizing Mars and had a student say, why don't they just use the teleporters to get there? And ever since that day, that has completely changed my mind on how to interact with students and what their beforehand knowledge is when we get into a project. Things like AI can easily go the wrong direction with stuff like that, especially with those hallucinations. So being able to create a model where you can put all of the things directly into it that the students can interact with and then show them how to do that themselves so they can use it as, like, say, a study guide for the test has been incredibly useful for us in what we've been working on at the middle school. Thank you for your time.
And at the high school, we've kind of built right off of that. So he started with Notebook LM. We also like that because you can put your resources right in there and it can generate a podcast for you that you can listen to two people talking about your subject matter, like a chapter in a biology book, right? All of a sudden, there's a 5-minute podcast talking about your chapter, and it sounds like real people talking. And the really cool thing about it is you can interrupt them and ask them questions, and in real time, they'll answer you using the resources from the chapter, right? So, I mean, right there in class. So it's really cool to be able to interact with that. It wasn't on there, but I had to put it in there because I love that tool. So we also love using all the things in AI that we can do, like using images that we can create to help students visualize character and setting. They can create their own images directly using AI where they can help create how do they picture the character? What does that setting look like for them? So for some of our students who have a really hard time visualizing what the stories look like, what the characters look like, they can help create it, and then they can create slides or something that helps them actually see what they think that person would look like. And they keep building it as we're going through the story, and it helps them visualize it and really get a better way of seeing what that novel is about or what the story is about. Giving them feedback on their writing, right? When we have 130, 150 kids, it's really difficult. We can have them put it directly in and provide 5 suggestions immediately for their writing. And then we can go back and edit it. We can do peer editing in class. I can go back through with them and say, okay, do you understand this one? And I can do conferencing with them. The suggestions are already there, and I don't have to spend the time reading the whole thing. Not that I won't. I'm still going to grade with them. I'm still going to conference, but I don't have to spend as much time, hours and hours and hours. I can take those tips, and then when I go back to relook at it, I don't have to do that surface level, and I can dig deeper with them, and we can go into more deeper level learning. So I really appreciate that. We can use it. AI will give them sources to look at, right? They can say, help me find academic sources for this when they can't find them. And AI will actually help them find academic journal sources, right? It'll help do research with them. They still have to go read the sources and find the information from them, but it'll help them find where those sources are. And then a couple of just fun game things we like to do, we will write, is competitive writing, right? You may think this isn't fun, but like gym kits and those type of things we love to do at the high school level. It gets kids really enjoying writing. Or competitions for like vocab and stuff, and We Were Right does that with writing. And so then they're writing, and the kids ask to write, which if you know anything about high schoolers, that's like gold, right? When you get kids that ask, oh, can we do that writing thing again? We really want to write. Like, as an English teacher, I pay money for that, right? So that's great. AI tools, it tells them the literary devices they're using so they can pinpoint where it is, where their description is, and then they can build on that, right? So then we can take it back and edit it, and they're competing, and I get kids who after that, I'm like, oh, you should be writing for Scholastic Writing. And it like builds them up in class, and I've actually had kids go and submit to Scholastic Writing after that, just because we were doing competitive writing in class off of something that I thought would be fun. So it's really cool. And then Mentimeter is just word clouds. Probably some of you have done this at conferences and stuff before, where like in science classes, I know they'll do reviews with students and say, write down the words that you remember. What are the major concepts from classes? And you can put all those words, it'll automatically build word clouds. And that'll tell the teachers, what do the students remember the most, but also what isn't there, right? So what do I need to go back and review? And it's an automatic quick shortcut for the teachers. So many great uses of AI that we can just jump into right away.
I just want to take a moment to come back and say, and if you're curious how we're keeping this kosher, how we're keeping this above board with all of our students, one of the tools that we have available to us as a district, it's already on everyone's computer in Google Docs, is called AI Trust You. We've been working at the middle school level to really have the kids understand that if they're using the tools that we've already told them are acceptable in the district, that's perfectly okay. They just need to be using them in the proper, correct way. So what AI Trust You does as a tool is it allows every single individual teacher and student to create, just real quickly on the assignment they're working on, an AI contract of use together, where students will self-report exactly what they used AI for, what part of the process of their questioning or writing or work it helped them through. And teachers can also put in every individual assignment exactly what is an acceptable level of AI usage, what that looks like, and where they get it from. Also, even something as simple as making images, love that. As someone with aphantasia, can't make pictures in my own brain, you should ask some of your kids or students how their brains work. We all think differently, and something like that is absolutely amazing, even for stuff like going through vocabulary. You don't know what a word means? Let's make a picture real quick and see what that picture creates. So our students are really loving all the different things that we've been bringing into the school. I think that we just need to remember, as long as we give it a guiding hand, we'll see great results. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I hope you've seen how we are providing some guidance and some tools to help students and teachers utilize AI in a safe manner. Our next steps will be, we'll actually be hosting a Google Gemini workshop for area educators and IT administrators on March 16th in partnership with CDW. So they'll actually bring us all together. We'll spend a day long with IT administrators learning how to set up Google Gemini in a safe manner, and then teachers will spend some time learning more about how to use it in their classroom. We'll offer continued learning opportunities around AI for our partners in tech, our teachers and principals through our regular meetings. And you're actually going to see tonight the agenda item for the second reading. There are some policies around AI use and technology responsible use policies. So thank you very much for your time tonight, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
I don't have any questions, but I think this whole thing is just mind-boggling to me, and I would like to, maybe if you'd like to, invite any of us, to one of your classrooms so we can see how, how the students are using it. I would love it. Please, I would love to experience that. Okay.
And I will send a little chat bot to you and you can bother it all day.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Nice job.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, we are on to item 9, business and operations. 9.01, 2025 versus 2026 budget comparison. Mrs. Dutoy.
Thank you, President Lehman. I just want to give a high overview of the 2026 approved budget compared to the 2025 budget. Tax rate wise, we went up 0.252 cents for the tax rate between the 2 years, which is about a 2% increase for the tax rated funds, which does not include the education or the rainy day. As for the levy that will create, it actually created 10.74 increase in funding and That increase is mostly linked to the Hums building. The new payments kick in July, so those had to be accounted for. We only received $95,477 more in ops, and the referendum fund did go up $260,133 with the high assessed value that I wasn't expecting. They were talking about a 3 or 4% increase, and the regular net assessed value went up 9.23%, and the referendum-related ones went up 8.47%, so that did help. But hopefully we can hold some of that back for when the next couple of years when we will be a little tight in some of the funding. The budget appropriations only went up 4.26%, then most of that is in the debt. So even though, and the referendum operating went up 404, but the plan is not to spend all that. Some of that, a lot of that will be held back to hold on for next year, when it could be a little tighter when the net assessed value is predicted to drop. And as I stated, the net assessed value for the two different types went up 9.23 for the regular and 8.47 for the referendum funds, excuse me. An education budget, it went up 3% for the next coming year. And the rainy day fund, I only appropriated $950,000, that's just for emergencies. Last year it was $2.5 million because we were paying the upfront costs of the new Hums building. But now that bonds have been issued, that's no longer needed. And when I did do the budget, I had requested $13 million in some in the operations, but as they had not submitted their net assessed value to October, that was high, and so they cut back our operations funding by $1,144,000. So we have to account for that in the budget when I put it into the system. And right now, the current circuit breaker estimate is $2,750,000 that we will not get in the operations fund to spend. So it's good, but it's bad. We're just going to have to watch what we spend in some areas.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Rachel. 9.02, approval of micro-purchasing threshold for federal grants, resolution number 2026-001. Mrs. Dutoy.
Thank you. This is for basically the food service, as it's a federal fund. And right now, they have to, if they spend anything above $10,000, they have to get 3 quotes. Well, the DOE and the state are now allowing us to self-certify, so that actually limit is $50,000. And Mrs. Cupp is requesting that, as that will make it easier for her to obtain different pricing.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Thank you. 9.03, approval of a quitclaim deed for the Ballard Street realignment. Dr. Stevens.
Thank you, President Lehman. As we've probably talked in the past, when the city of Mishawaka made their improvements on Ballard Street, it ended up having a little bit of the Twin Branch Park come over on the west side of the road, which is, of course, close to Twin Branch. And so that small area of land, to legally become ours, we need to have the board approve this quitclaim deed for that Ballard Street realignment. Right now, and I know the city, I think, is looking, I don't know if they've got the fence done over there yet, or if they're wanting to get that fence completed. But if you've gone over there, it almost looks like it's just more additional playground space for Mr. O'Hara and the folks at Twin Branch. So certainly happy to entertain questions that the board may have, but we're looking for your approval on this item so that property can legally become School City Mishawaka property.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion passes. 9.04, approval of insurance agreement for property, casualty, and workers' compensation. Dr. Stevens.
Sure, as a little background, in November of last year, we released a request for proposal pertaining to property and casualty insurance brokers. Then just last month in December, interested brokers replied to that, were interviewed, and from that process, a finalist was selected after those interviews were completed. So I'm happy to announce that we are recommending the Board of School Trustees approve the property casualty and workers' compensation with McCarthy Insurance here in beautiful Mishawaka. So we are looking for your approval on this item as presented.
So moved.
Second?
It's been motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
If you don't mind, Mrs. Lehman, I'm going to
Yep.
interrupt. We have some friends here from McCarthy that may want to come up and say a few brief words. Or not. Yeah, they're ready to say a few things.
Well, you warned me. So you said 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
Oh.
No, we just wanted to thank the search committee and the board. I'm Connor McCarthy, third generation owner of McCarthy Insurance Group. We've been headquartered here since 1959 in the old Belgian West End. We look forward to working with you guys in the future and excited to reestablish this relationship. Thanks.
Thanks, Connor. Item 10, policy updates. 10.01, second reading approval of policies. Dr. Stevens.
Thank you again, President Lehman. Tonight, we're recommending the approval of policy volume 37, number 1 from November 2024, and then volume 37, number 2 from April of 2025, with policy 7530.01 as presented. I'm happy to entertain additional questions that the board may have, but as this is the second reading, we do need your formal approval on these items tonight.
Move for approval.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion passes. Okay, 10.02, first reading of policies. Dr. Stevens.
Thank you, President Lehman. And these following proposed policies are being presented to the school board for the first reading. So there's no action on this part tonight. As part of the standard policy review and adoption process, a second reading recommendation for approval scheduled for February 11th school board meeting, where we will ask for you to take action at that time. I believe that we finally got Mrs. Johnson roped in, which is my apology for not getting her roped in sooner. So she was part of reviewing some of these policies as well. So I'm happy to entertain questions the board may have, but if there are none, it's just information. We can move on to the next item as you see appropriate.
Okay, Melissa, any comments? Okay.
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Item 11, superintendent's reports and action items. Dr. Stevens. 11.1, Hums Elementary School update.
Very good. Thank you, President Lehman. As you know, maybe one of the most exciting things going on in School City is the new Hums Elementary being built. And tonight we have a few friends from F.A. Wilhelm that are here that I'm going to invite to the podium. Hopefully they'll be able to present and give us a little update on the status and progress of the Hums Elementary School building. So with that, turn it over to you.
Hello, everybody. Patrick Allender, project manager with F.A. Wilhelm. I'm going to introduce Rick Rittenhouse. He's our superintendent for Hums. I'll let him give everybody a quick update on schedule, where we're at, where we're going, and then I'll stick around if we've got any questions. Okay.
How's it going, guys?
Wonderfully well.
First time here?
Welcome.
So I think we have a slide kind of put together, kind of the boots out on the ground there. So I just put together kind of somewhat a start to finish of the job as to up to date. We had our groundbreaking there on the left, and on the right kind of shows what it used to look like, just an open field. So there's on the left there is the start of our parking lot. Little trailer city is there now. On the right, we did have a kind of candy drop for all the kindergarten kids and stuff for Halloween. They were pretty excited, and then I stuck around, handed candy out to all the kids.
That's cool.
This is the temporary service drive we had to put in just because we took over the back end of the school. Beginning of our excavation of the job site. It's kind of excavating all the topsoil out so we can start building up the building pad.
And there's the start of the building pad. Start bringing it up to elevation. And some of the conditions we're working with this weather. But we are bearing through. You can kind of see in the background, we got a concrete truck. So right now, we're about halfway through, a little over, with all the cast in place concrete foundations. And a little closer picture, some of the MEPs going in and the rebar for all the foundations. I like to take a lot of pictures out there. There's tons. These are the interior photos on the sequence 2. That'd be the northeast section of the building. In the background, we have our CMU, our masons out there. So we just finished today our third CMU wall in sequence 1. That kind of dictates the black there is damp proofing for the foundation walls. And more excavation, more concrete. I think that might be. Yeah, so I'll just say kind of on a high level, we are within a week of our original schedule where we wanted to be. We think we're going to catch that up here the second week of February. We should be right back on track. Structural steel looking like second week of February. We do have an updated schedule that we'll provide to you, just updated January 9th. So Dr. Stevens we'll get that over to you and you can get that out to, I guess, we'll get that out to you guys and you can distribute that to whoever you need. Okay, any questions?
It's looking good. Nobody on the hill yet?
No, we didn't get a picture of that.
That was about to be that one time we got the big snow, but.
There's a mountain of topsoil in the back over
yeah.
there. And I hope the kids stay off of that. That's to be a good sledding.
It's
I bet. Thank you so much. 11.02, reappointment of SCM representative to the Mishawaka Parks and Recreation Board. Dr. Stevens.
Thank you. It's recommended the Board of School Trustees approve the reappointment of Mr. Jerome Caldroni to the Mishawaka Parks and Recreation Board as a representative of School City of Mishawaka.
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion carries. 11.03, superintendent's updates. Dr. Stevens.
All right. Thank you, President Lehman. As we wrap up the end of our meeting, I'd like to welcome back students and staff. I know we did make it to 2026, so Happy New Year, and glad that everybody's here. And we're certainly looking forward to a great second semester of the year, and hopefully as good, if not even better than we had first semester. Next up, this was all typed before, a little reminder about winter weather preparedness. How timely. But please know it's our preference, even though I'm watching the weather, but it's always our preference to come to school on time. We'll see how this works out tomorrow, but when the conditions necessitate a delay or closing, we're certainly ready to execute all of those options. It's important to note that we do have one e-learning day left. And after we use that e-learning day, any additional days off of school would be sort of what we call traditional snow days that are then made up at the end of the calendar year. So hopefully we're able to maybe make it through and hold on to that e-learning day, but one never knows. We'll find that out. And then last but not least, in case the fine folks don't know, January is School Board Appreciation Month, so after the annual reorganization meeting and regular meeting, it's fitting to know that this is the Appreciation Month. So if you don't mind, as we wrap up, before I turn it over to President Lehman, join me in a round of applause to showing our appreciation for our Board of School Trustees. And thank you, Board, and if there are no additional questions for me, President Lehman, I turn it back over to you.
Great. I'd also would like to say, welcome back. I'm glad you guys are here and made it through this blistering night. I hope that 2026 is treating you well so far. Stay focused, stay positive, and we are behind you 100% of the way. So with that, item 12, communication, 12.01, public announcement. And the next meeting of the School City of Mishawaka Board of Trustees is February 11, 2026 at Hums Elementary School. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.